please convey the message to those who are absent today, right? Because I'm a bit worried about your exam performance. Because looking at the way you answer the question in the tutorial, okay, many of you the answer is there are a few problems. One is not fast enough, okay? The question may request you to have 3 to 5 points. Some of you just give me 1 point, okay, for 25 minutes. That is not fast enough. Second one is when you answer your question, your justification is not strong enough. Yeah. And third one is the tutorial question is usually is something like part of a whole exam question. That means you may answer 2 or 3 tutorial questions that equivalent to 1 exam question. So if you are writing too slow, it may cause a problem. Okay, so this is the 3 weaknesses. And then another one is I find that you all maybe if I'm not sure, could be a wrong concept. If I'm wrong, just tell me. You all looks like if asking you to answer, your answer will be much more better than the answer in English. So I worry that when you're looking at the question, you take in Chinese, and then after that you translate the English, then it will take times, right? And I want to know why you all cannot perform well except the last few weeks, except the last 1 or 2 weeks. Your answer is to the tutorial question is become better. Okay, the previous week 1 to week 10, I would say week 1 to week 8 or 9, I would say that is a quite poor answer given to me. Okay, may I know the problem?
Pardon, sir. We couldn't hear you just now.
You ask, I answer. You ask, I answer. Sorry, my network.
Yeah.
Can you
We
hear
can't
me?
hear you just now.
Sorry?
We can't hear you just now.
Oh, okay. I repeat. So if you want you can't hear me, you immediately stop me, yeah. All right. I say that just now. I say I'm very worried about your performance of exam. Okay, based on your performance, the tutorial. Basically, the tutorial question, when you answer tutorial, I find that is you are taking too long time to construct the answer. Okay, and bear in mind that in the it could be poor.
So again, we can't
Then
hear you.
answer your question. That is what the tutorial question and ask you to answer in Chinese. I'm expecting better. So I have to change the network. I think the network is not stable. Hello, can you hear me? No response is you cannot hear me or nothing.
Until now can. A few moments ago is a bit blur. A few moments ago is a bit blur. You are asking that why our performance is getting better at the recent weeks, right? Recent 1 or 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
then After that, we couldn't hear clearly.
Oh, okay, because my internet cut
Yeah.
off. So I changed to another channel. So now it's okay, right?
Yes.
My internet has start having problem yesterday. And when it cut off, I also didn't aware.
See.
All right, okay. So I need your feedback, okay? I want to make this interaction type. You ask question, then I answer. So why now I'm asking you first. What is the problem you face with the tutorial question?
I think is the understanding to the certain concept is a bit too abstract sometimes. So it takes time for us to fully understand it and prepare the answer.
Mm-hmm. Too abstract, okay, right? Okay. Yeah, I can agree with you that the question in the tutorial sometimes is too abstract that you can interpret it in this way or the another way. Okay. But unfortunately, I cannot give you two direct question because this is the open book exam, and open book exam there is a bit tougher. Okay, if let's say you are sitting for your exam in the physical examination hall, then that you are not allowed to open the books to check your answer or whatever. That one can be more specific, more direct. Okay. But if open book question, the level should be higher, the level of difficulty should be higher. Okay. And there is another one, the highest one is take home test. That's mean let you take the question back for a few days and then you construct your answer. That is the worst part. That is the most difficult examinations. Yeah. So okay, abstract in what way that your thing you can understand, up to what extent? I cannot be too direct, too direct. Let's say we talking about, okay. Let's say you're talking about evaluate the IT technology using 9 elements model. Okay, this one is too direct already. Because you know there's IT, you can Google wow, IT, what are the 9 elements there? You straight away get the answer. No. Okay, if let's say this type of question come out, then I may give you say select a question of your choice and evaluate using the 9 elements model. So in that case, you do not have a fixed answer, right? So different student will have a different answer. So this is an open test. There is no it's not so directly you can get the answer directly from the notes. Okay, Chong, the abstract side, can you further explain up to what extent you all can remember, you all can understand?
Mm, understanding the requirements,
Okay, what requirement are you talking about?
like the question is asking on taking the example from the past tutorial that death
Mm,
is determined by technology, not by
mm,
society,
okay,
right?
yep.
So discuss this statement.
Mm,
So somehow I don't know how to describe it, but it takes times to figure out the aspects to
mm-hmm.
be included, to what to be included, what to be excluded from this
Okay,
statement. I wasn't sure. Maybe you can ask more people here.
yep.
Uh, what is the most challenging question that you feel
I try to
for the
ask,
past
I
tutorial?
try to ask, but usually when I ask, there is no response. Class, can you give me a response?
Maybe in writing in the chat box, okay now.
Checkbox is a bit difficult for me because when I present the screen or whatever, I can't see the checkbox. Why you all like to write, but when I ask you to write the question, the answer, then you all write did not write the answer, right?
Sometimes it's
Okay, you
easy
want
to
me?
right.
Sorry, what is
Yes.
that?
No.
Okay, give me your response. You want to know how to answer the exam question? Give me a response. What are the things that you're doubt, or what are the difficulties that you are facing? Sujia,
Yes,
you are the
I,
person behind me just now.
yes. I think the most difficult part is the time consuming, yeah, the time constraint, yeah.
The
Is
time constraint. In what
yes,
way?
it's too less for us to spend 5 to 10 minutes to part of the question. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Because we need some time to construct the answer and then think the
Mm,
points. And this, more or less, we need about five
mm,
minutes to think about it. And then, so after thinking, then we only left few minutes to write. So I think it's very difficult for us to finish all the
mm.
questions.
So you
Yeah.
need to think it in a very fast way, lah. Once you look at the question, you need to answer it. For your information, last time previously this paper was 2 hours paper. You need to compulsory answer 4 questions, okay? And this year I've changed it to 2.5 hours, but still 4 questions, compulsory question. And each question will have part one, part A, part B, part C. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. And then the part B will related to part A. So when you're constructing your answer in the part A, you need to think of your answer in the part B. Okay. And the time wise, that is why I asked you to during the tutorial time, I try to ask you to finish your answer in 15 minutes time or 20 minutes time, because I know that if let's say you take longer than that, you may face problem, may face a problem in the exam. Okay, but of late for the past few weeks, some of you say haven't finished. Then I say okay, give you another 5 to 10 minutes. That is, and then yesterday I discussed 2 questions, but there is one student using almost 1 hour just to answer one question. That is too slow already. Okay, so how to be fast? Actually, for this paper, certain question you can prepare beforehand. Okay, for example, if let's say we go back to these 9 elements, I say 9 elements, it doesn't mean that 9 elements will come out. Okay, for example, if I ask you to evaluate, select a technology of your choice and evaluate using the 9 elements model. So while you do your revisions, you can select your one of the technology and evaluate using the 9 elements model. Okay, you can prepare it beforehand. So while you are preparing beforehand, let's say you choose a computer, right? Then you already have some idea about what it is. And if the question come out, say choose select if I don't say select a technology of your choice, I say can can Wi-Fi consider as a technology in the society? Evaluate using the 9 elements model. So at least you have already tried out how to analyze the computer using the 9 elements model. So basically, you just change some of the wording in your answer, because most of the answer you can see interrelated one. If I twist the question, your answer is still the same, but you just change some keywords only. This will make you to think faster. Did I answer your question, Sujia?
Yes, yes.
So are you confident?
Not really.
I'm not scaring you. Previously, this is a killer paper. Yeah, my record, I hold the record is the highest 60% failure. 60% of the student fail. That one was before we change the syllabus, before we reduce the credit hours from 4 credit to 3 credits. The 4 credit hours one is very high failing rate, because it is very common that technology and society, it is cover the anything under the sun, it can be considered as technology. All right. And for your informations, when you study, you focus on technology and society, and also energy, resources, and pollution, these 3 areas. Okay. The the CLO one, the CLO one is what the responsibility and the code of conduct. I'm not going to test you during the exam. Okay, the richer review of the latest of the recently engineering activities, I'm not going to test you in the exam. I only test you in the exam 2 questions on technology and society, 2 questions on energy and environment or pollutions. So you just focus on 2 course learning outcome. And when you study the lecture notes, bear in mind the lecture note is a bit is in a point form. Okay, if every lecture notes I put into the wording form, then you'll see that the lecture notes of this paper is all are writing, isn't it? All are words. Sometimes it is very boring. So certain slide I just put into the point form, and you need to convert it into the essay. Let me show you one example. Yeah. Okay. Let's say let me open my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Let me project. I didn't project. Okay. Let's go back to the previous lecture. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's say let's say let me choose one slide. Okay, let's say this slide, management of change. Okay, what is the question asking? Then only you can use this management of change to answer. Let's say this slide is the answer to your exam question. So what do you think? What question the exam is asking?
Society.
Society? Society is too general. You look at it, the title is called management of change, isn't it? That's why it is related to something that is change, right? Okay. So highly likely the question we're asking you, our technology is changes very fast in this in today's society. Or the every few years the technology is changed. So how are you going to, or how is your company going to survive in this fast changing fast changing world? Okay, so in that case, this is management of change. So your answer will be these 3, but expand it into the essay form. Okay, if you just give a point form, if let's say 5 marks for one point, then you will just get 1 mark for 1 point. Okay, so you need to expand it into the theory. So this is talking about the management of change. That's why it's talking about technology changing so fast. So how are we going to survive in this one? Okay. Let's say if a question asking you about the technological determinism and the social determinism, you can also prepare beforehand. While you do the revision, you can you can think of 1 or 2 answer, 1 or 2 example that is you think that you can explain using technological determinism, for example like IT or computer, and think of 1 or 2 example that is you think you can answer using social determinism. So all this you can prepare. So once you go into the exam hall, if the question is not talking about social determinism or technological determinism, but it twists a little bit, ask you to compare what is the difference between technological determinism and social determinism. So you already got the example in your hand with you. So you can just twist and change a little bit of your answer, then you can answer already. Do you get me?
Yes,
If you look at
yes.
the scope note, it's very wide. The scope is very wide. It can be cover anything in the under the sun. But then your answer, even though the question change a little bit, but your answer may still be applicable. Just now someone is saying something, is it?
Sir, I just answer you yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. So, but then can we have our coursework mark?
I will let you have your coursework mark before the exam.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And when you write, okay, for example, this management to change, then you, for example, in your essay, you say that in order to survive in this fast-changing world of technology, that a company need to have to do the following in order to survive. Then you put point one, need to accelerate innovation process. That's mean then you can discuss that the technology changes so fast, so the company need to catch up the technology, blah 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 blah. One paragraph, okay. Then second point, lifelong learning, because the technology changes so fast, so we need to keep on updating our knowledge so that our knowledge is up to the date and so forth. Another paragraph, and then move to the computer integrated, or you can use a, here I put CIM is a bit outdated, you can use AI or automations. We are talking about industrial 4.0, right? Then you can put that one at the third paragraph, okay. So 1.1 paragraph. Is it easier for you to counter check? After you finish your question, you want to check whether you have enough point or not, then you just count your number of paragraph you do. Yeah, don't jumble up everything into one paragraph. This is a big no-no. Okay. Any other question? If let's say the question is related to Malthus theory or related to club of Rome, then it will be easier for you to sketch out the graph and label the graph and then explain. It will be easier for you. For example, in the club of Rome, the limits to grow, you just sketch out the graph. Okay, no need in a perfect way. You sketch out the graph, you label it, and then you explain, and then why the trend is going up for the industrial activity, okay, and then why when the natural resources is dropping, so the natural resources is dropping, then the industry cannot get raw material supply to manufacturing, so the industrial activity also drop, okay. So you can use your graph to explain, and when you use your graph to explain, please label your graph. If you have different color pen, you use different color pen. If not, then you just put down in industrial activity, what is that, pollutions, and then population grow and so forth, okay. And when you put a figure, you're sketching in the diagram, then put it into the label your diagram. For example, figure one, then you can say, as shown in figure one, that the population growth is obviously grow in an exponential way. However, the natural resources is depleting, as shown in the graph number two, okay. So this will help you to easier to explain. And when you explain certain concept or certain things, then you get stuck, don't worry. You just put the word for example, then you quote an example and explain. Okay, I will accept it. All right. But if the question asking you to justify your answer with example, then definitely for sure you need to put example in your answer. Okay. So most of the slide that is in the point form, that one you need to be careful to convert it into the what we say, the essay way. This one you can done it before exam, isn't it? Right? For example, if we are talking about technology transfer, where is technology transfer? So what are the okay, this is technology transfer. Then if we're asking you what are the conditions, okay? If I ask you what are the advantages and disadvantages of technology transfer, so this slide will be your answer. Yeah, you change you don't memorize it, you write in your own answer. But if I change the question, I say discuss the limitations of the technology transfer. What is what is the limitation of technology transfer? The opposite of this one, where is it? Okay, the opposite of this one will be the limitation. Okay, but as far as technology transfer is concerned, you need to be very careful. It could be tricky because I may ask you advantages for the recipient or advantages for the supplying country. There are two. Okay, so you need don't simply look at it advantages so we like it. Okay, you have to look at it whether it is a recipient country or supplying country. I give you another example. Okay, this one is the benefit of the acquirer or the recipient country, isn't it? Right? So if I ask you what are the advantages of technology transfer to the recipient country, then you can this one will be your answer, but expand it in the essay form. Okay, but if I twist the question, I change the question a little bit. I say question A is in the need of a technology B. Okay, and if you want to develop a technology B, it need to take at least 10 years to acquire to develop the technology B. So there are people suggesting that country A to transfer the technology from country C, who already established the technology. So, in your opinion, what are the advantages of the technology transfer? So the question completely different, but your answer is still are the three, still are the benefit of technology transfer to the recipient country. You can still use back the answer. Do you get me? Hello, am I lagging?
Yes, yes.
Lagging ah?
No, no, no. Can understand.
Okay. So what else you all want to know about exam? Let me see, is there any other? Okay, for example, main elements required for technology transfer. What is this main element? If I ask you, before the country decide to transfer a technology from a developed country, what are the conditions that, what are the factors that you need to be considered? Then this one will be the elements for you to consider. Okay. Or if I ask you, if I change the question, what will be the what will be the factors that determine whether the country should transfer the technology or not? Then this F is six. These six factors can also be your answer. Okay. So even though no matter how is the question twist, if you understand, then you can answer it. That's why I emphasize very much on your understanding instead of memorizing the lecture notes. Okay, and these five stages of technology transfer also, you can. Well, if I ask you, what about the five? What about the conditions that a country need to be ready before a technology can be transferred from other countries? Then you can discuss about this five factor also. All right, or same thing as I mentioned just now, what are the factors that are affecting the decisions of the country whether to transfer the technology from the advanced country? These five stages also can be your answer, same as the one that I showed just now. Okay, so there is the open question. There is no right or wrong, and I won't expect you to follow the lecture notes strictly. There is no right or wrong answer. I will mark your paper according to your logical explanations. Okay, as far as your explanation is logical, then you get the marks definitely. But in your explanation, you make use of the elements of the that we have taught you during the class. Then additional marks will be given. For example, if we let's say we how are we going to combat the what you say the pollutions, okay, then you can discuss whatever way. But if you discuss about the source of pollution, there is a point source pollution, and there is a non-point source pollutions, and then you also discuss about the pollution prevention and pollution prevention, and another one is chain of raw material. Okay, so this one is you are using the material that you have learned from the lecture notes, right? So if you explain in that way, then your marks will be higher. Okay, because this show that you are able to apply the knowledge that you have learned from this paper. Another one that I want to let you know is you need not worry about how many points you need to write. Okay, in the question I specifically mentioned that for example, this question A, please discuss about 4 advantages and 4 disadvantages of technology A. Okay, I mentioned in how many points you need to write. So you no need to worry about whether you write too much point or too less point. Okay, I mentioned it, that one. That one I can be specific for you lah. Okay. So with this can score or not?
Just try our best.
Try your best is still not a commitment yet. Must do the best.
All right.
Any other question? Before the exam, I will do one round of revisions for you all. Okay, go through this technological and society, and also natural resources, pollution and energy resources, raw resources. I will do one cycle of revision for you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any other question?
So far, no.
Okay. I think Zhongyi, the abstract side that you mentioned is that you worry earlier. I think what I can say is the question cannot be too specific, okay, because it's open book question, but I will not make it as abstract as the tutorial question. It is a bit direct as compared to tutorial question. Is that okay? Yeah, I think that I think I will make it a bit direct lah, so that easier for you to get the point. So the important thing is actually there are a lot of points you can prepare beforehand one.
See.
Yeah.
Like the resources and the technology, society, etc. Right?
Sorry, what is that? I didn't get you.
Like the sectors in the technologies, societies, environment and pollutions, right?
Yeah. So all this I will be exam. It will be in the exam. Okay. 2 questions on technology, 2 questions on pollution and energy and natural resources. For example, if I asking you like the tutorial question, the impact of Wi-Fi, the development of internet on the society, right? If I change the question from internet to the society, I change it to the computer to the society, but your answer basically almost the same, isn't it? Right? You just change some keyword that is not relevant. That's it. So this is what I mean that you can prepare beforehand. So having said that, your understanding is more important. Now, when you understand the question or you understand the lecture notes, then it will be much easy for you to change your answer on the spot. Okay, any other question?
No from my side, sir.
Sorry?
No from my side.
Okay. So this is end of week 11 already. So you have another 3 weeks. Yeah. Have you got your exam schedule?
Yes, we get it.
Which day? 30th April, right? Your exam for this paper is 30th April, right?
Yes, correct.
It's the first day of exam lah.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Yeah, okay. So go do your what to say, your revisions. And I would say at this time when you do revisions, you just base on your lecture notes, okay? Previously, earlier weeks I will ask you to read more on the other references or whatever, okay? But now left only 3 weeks, you may not have time to read other resources already. So focus on your lecture notes and expand the point form into essay form. That's it. Okay, right? So if no question, we'll end the class here and we'll continue on the water resources next Tuesday. Okay,
Thank
before
you,
I
sir.
end the class, any more question?
No, sir.
I can't hear you. What is that, Victor? Victor, you are saying something?
No question, sir.
Okay, no question. Then we end the class here. Have a nice weekend. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.